Freedom March with Rodney Munker. Up next on ILTV.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Munker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of ILS or the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a product of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented, in part or entirety, without express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2024. All rights are reserved.
Marijuana is a dangerous drug.
The Queen is dead. God save the King.
There can never be rape in marriage. BMW sound like bad mad wagon. Not only am I saved, I'm saved and sanctified. The revolution is alive, and we must continue to document it.
Freedom!
Broadcasting live from the ILTV studios located here at University Drive. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Munker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I'm also a member of the local Roman Catholic Church. Today is Friday, the 21st day of March in the year of our Lord 2025. Well, there's so many things I want to talk about. I'll tell you how I was up at 4 a.m. this morning. And then by 5 a.m., Marcus Louis joined me in Black Village. And that would have been for a 6:45 a.m. meeting with the minister responsible for social services, Miles LaRoda, in the aftermath of a Negro woman who is bordering on suicide. So that is an interesting story, and it is a demonstration that the female sexist organization have abandoned the poor black woman. So I thank God I'm leader of the Woman Dam, and I intend to prevent the suicide, even if I have to personally handcuff her. And this is powerful. So there's some of the things I'm going to talk about. And then I want to look at some allegation that has been levied by my party, the Free National Movement. And then, of course, I'm going to reflect on a former Progressive Liberal Party member of Parliament. His name is Leslie Miller. You would recall that Leslie Miller, while serving as a member of Parliament, advocated for LNG. And now I live long enough to see that his idea has been stolen. But these things do happen in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And then I expect a surprise guest, which is going to be powerful. So folks, just relax. Let's have fun today. This is Freedom March. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save me. God save the King. God save you. I'll be right back after the break. Hold on! It's powerful today.
Freedom March with Rodney Munker will be right back after this.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is, by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. PTC customers claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March. And of course, I want you to pick up your phone, call a friend, call a neighbor, let them know that Freedom March is live. And so I want to welcome my spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, to Freedom March. And as is his custom, he's going to incite members of the religious group, but I don't want any religious questions being asked today. You will
Again,
you will instead call my spiritual advisor privately. You will call him privately so that y'all will get together and pray and discuss holy scriptures. So my spiritual advisor, I want to welcome you. How are you doing today?
doing well. Thank you so much.
You're doing fine today?
I'm doing well.
This
thank
is
you.
great.
Thank
Well,
God for life
Well, you're welcome.
in all things.
Behold the Bahamian people.
Absolutely. So I'm waging a holy war against a misunderstanding about the Old Testament and the Ten Commandments. There are some who understand this, and of course there are some who don't. That the Ten Commandments was given to the Israelites Christ. It wasn't a permanent arrangement or agreement. The covenant was in place just for a time. And once Jesus Christ came on the scene, that covenant came to its limit, it lived its purpose, and then it died with Christ. And so now a new covenant is now in effect, which of course is the New Testament of Jesus Christ, which was put in place by his blood. He is the lawgiver of the new covenant, and that's the covenant that we as Christians are under. The Ten Commandments was not given to everybody. If anybody tells you that, tell them I say they're lying. All right? Mama could tell you. There's a fellow who told Mama he wasn't going to eat no crack conch and no crawfish. And Mama asked him who tell him he ain't supposed to be eating it. All right? So if anybody tells you that you're supposed to be keeping the Ten Commandments, tell them they lie, okay? It's not true, because it was only given to the Israelites. So here we go. Romans, the Apostle Paul is writing to the church in Rome, and he's including himself in this passage. Here's what he's going to do. He's going to show the Christians by this letter that they're no longer indebted to the law, but they're bound to Jesus Christ and the law of Jesus Christ. All right, so there are two separate laws. The law came by Moses, the Mosaic law, and then Jesus Christ introduced this law of grace. Romans chapter 7, 1-6. Here's what the Apostle Paul says. Do you not know, brothers and sisters, for I am speaking to those who know the law, that the law has authority over someone only as long as that person lives. For example, by law, a married woman is bound to her husband as long as he is alive. But if her husband dies, she is released from the law of marriage that binds her to him. You get it? Okay? So then, if she has sexual relations with another man while her husband is alive, she's called an adulteress, and that is true. Switch me, producer. But if her husband dies, she is released from that law and is not an adulteress if she marries another man. Watch this now. So, my brothers and sisters, you also died to the law through the body of Christ, that you might belong to another, to him who was raised from the dead, in order that we may bear fruit to God. You see that? So, my brothers, you also died to the law through the body of Christ, that you may belong to another, to him who was raised from the dead. We belong to Christ now. So when we were in the realm of the flesh, the sinful passions aroused by the law were at work in us, so that we bore fruit for death. Watch this now. But now, by dying to what once bound us, we have been released from the law to serve, so that we serve in the new way of the Spirit and not in the old way of the written code. There you have it. Verse number 6. But now, by dying to what once bound us, the Apostle Paul is including himself in this. He says, we have been released. You know what's to be released from the law? So that we serve in the new way of the Spirit. We're under the new covenant. We're under this New Testament. And guess what he says now? He says, not in the old way of the written code. What's the written code? The Ten Commandments, my brother. Listen, if any church or pastor tell y'all under the Old Testament or the Ten Commandments, tell them I say they lying. Because the scriptures is very clear that old law has been done away in Jesus Christ. Romans chapter 7, 1-6. I read from the NIV. Don't forget now what the scientists say. Call me. So we have a discussion, 814-6096. Call me so we can have a very lively and provocative discussion. The Word of God is forever and ever blessed. Thank you so much, producer. Back to you, Senator.
I thank you, my spiritual advisor.
Indeed.
So, to those of you who love discussing theology and religion, my spiritual advisor shall welcome
calls from you, you call him privately, okay? So that,
And what's my number?
please repeat it.
814. You don't know my number?
Please repeat your number.
My number is 814-6096, or you can call the Church of Christ 393-2486. Or you can call the Highway Power Church of Christ 393-2486. Don't call me while I'm on the show, because I see some calls coming through. Call me after 6. Thank you so much. Back to you, Sandra.
And the most I want to say that if it was possible, the very elect of God in these days shall be deceived. Amen. Well, folks, I was up very early this morning, and I thank God that on my team is a young man by the name of Marcus Luby, who's committed to service in this country, and from time to time we are called upon to perform what I shall call crime interruption. And in our population, we are seeing an increase in suicide, attempted suicide, and threats of suicide. In fact, the last Negro person who stopped me at a gas station and threatened to commit suicide, I looked at him and I said, please don't do it yet. And he was stunned. And I took out my phone and I called the Minister of Social Services, that's Miles LaRoda, and I said, I have this Negro man in this gas station threatening that he's going to commit suicide. Please come. And the minister came, and fortunately, he has resolved that matter. Well, here in the country, there are a lot of people who are suffering from mental health challenges. And there are many social issues that are contributing to it. And then there are many people who are involved in sinful activities that are slowly being revealed through social media, videos, etc. And they cannot take the pressure of the shame. So shame is a major contribution to these suicide and attempted suicide. And so we're dealing with citizens who are talking suicide. And I don't know why the police just don't arrest some of them and prosecute them. Now, those who are health professionals will argue that you don't prosecute people who are threatening to commit suicide, ignoring the fact that suicide is against the law, attempted suicide is against the law, and I'm going to go one step further and say those who threaten to do it, we should prosecute their backside. That's me. That's revolutionary, and I come to that conclusion. See, I'm not a professional. Watch out for me. I used to work at Sandilands. And by virtue of working at Sandilands, I know every political family with crazy people. I want you to hear me again. As a result of working to Sandilands, I know all the politicians who are crazy, starting with me. So, we were up bright and early. We had a very early meeting with the minister responsible for social services, telling him that he has a duty to intervene. He has a duty to assist these desperate Negro women, because the organized Negro women, the sophisticated Negro women, the women who are wearing Indian people hair, them who are bleaching, them who are wasting public funds at the University of the Bahamas over sex issues, while the students sing on a toilet paper. They can't have toilet paper if you're taking the money fighting for lesbian right. I know you're going to have a difficulty believing that, but take it from me. I got the easily verifiable facts. So that is what's going on. They need $25 million, and there's a bunch of nonsense going on at the university. So Miles LaRoda, he has a challenge. And I expect him to save these people whom I am identifying to him. People who have no food, people who are living in cars, people who got children, women who are desperate, and there's no female organization they can turn to, unless, of course, they are interested in petitioning them on a sexual position. But as it relates to the fact that they have no home, they have no food, they're sleeping in old car, these unsaved women, they're not interested in that. And so we have to be up very early. I thank God that the minister was willing to get up early and discuss the matter. And I expect him to solve it. And as we move towards the campaign, those ministers, those members of parliament who do not listen to the advice of taking care of the people, I shall publicly attack them. Just publicly attack. Okay? And that is what I want to say. So I thought I'd tell that to you. I think it's powerful. Oh boy, it's just amazing. All right? It's just amazing. The mental health crisis, and the professionals are not doing anything about it. They're not. The women organization are not doing anything about it. And when people ask me, why you think they're not helping? They don't like my answer. I said, listen, that woman who has that mental health challenge, she's too black for them. And they think that I am strange. But I'm not strange. I know these women with the false Indian head. I know these hair. I know these women who are bleaching. They're bleaching. They're not comfortable with their skin. All right? So therein lies the problem. Mental health problem. But I thank God I have this opportunity to run on before I go to surgery. So I'm getting very close to going to surgery. But as I head to surgery, I'm going to route my way straight to the hospital for the people there. So I thought I'll tell that to you. And then, having told you that, it was interesting to note yesterday that the Prime Minister signed an agreement with Focal and Shell over LNG. You would recall that a former PLP member of Parliament, Leslie Miller, had advocated LNG. Remember that? But they all saw him as coming up with an idea where he would have become wealthy, as opposed to looking at the fact that with that plan, it would have reduced the costs and made electricity and other goods and services very cheap. I just wondered whether or not they stole Leslie Miller's plan yesterday. I don't know, but I wonder if yesterday's plan is better than Leslie Miller's own. I don't know. So I've had some research done because I want to examine it, and I have been incited to do so after I read an article by the Attorney General, Senator Ryan Pinder, who has argued with the introduction of LNG, we shall save $50 million. And, you know, it's big bucks. That's great savings. But I thought Leslie Miller, in the aftermath, Leslie Miller was correct. He had a better plan, and it is regrettable that we were jealous of the plan and we sabotaged it. Yeah. So I thought I'll tell that to you, because there are many things that I want to tell you, but I was incited over the fact that Senator Ryan Pinder apparently doing the signing at the office of the Prime Minister. It appears he has told the nation that with the signing with Focal
and Shell, we shall save $50 million a year. It's powerful. Any comment, my spiritual advisor?
No comment, Senator, but producer, I send those two messages there. We want to get a message out to those who may be contemplating suicide or who, may have some family issues, personal issues.
I got a woman. You want a woman who want to commit suicide and two children?
Listen, we just want them to know they're not alone, Senator.
My spiritual advisor.
Mental health.
Yeah,
matters.
She need a house.
All right, so
she need a house, and she need food.
Okay, that's where the government comes in.
What happened to the church? Bring this camera back to me.
Can I just read this quickly? Can I just read this information to get this out?
Just hold on for a second.
Which church she goes to?
Whose information is that?
Police. It's coming from the police.
They have food?
I'm sure the police could.
They got housing?
Anyhow, get the woman some food and house then.
My spiritual advisor. Couldn't the first century church do it?
Yes, we can help. But let's get this message
When you come
out,
back,
man.
just relax.
You look like you don't want to save people, man. You clowning, man. You ain't serious.
This is Freedom March. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save the King. It's powerful today. We'll be right back after the break. Hold on, everybody.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Munker, his guests, and callers on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2020. All rights are reserved.
This segment of Freedom March is brought to you by Modernistic Garden and Pet Supply. For top quality dog food, shop online at modernisticgarden.com or visit our Palmdale, Carmichael, and Mullet Marathon locations today.
Welcome back to Freedom March. My spiritual advisor will read ad and then I'll come back to LNG. I'm going to show you today how we in the FNM corrupted it. See, y'all have forgotten, but y'all up against me, my spiritual advisor. Pay ad.
Are your dogs hungry and tired of low quality food? Give them the best at Modernistic. We carry all the top brands: Taste of the Wild, Diamond Naturals, Victor, Anukshu, at the lowest prices in town. Sorry, forgive me. On a budget, we've got 50-pound bags starting at just $49. And for limited time, you can buy any large bag of dog food and get a $10 coupon redeemable on select dog toys and treats. If you can't make it in, shop online at www.modernisticgarden.com and we'll deliver right to your door. Your pet deserves quality, your wallet deserves savings. Shop in store or shop online today. Hurry, offer won't last. Thank you, producer.
This is powerful. So I'm talking about LNG and I'm having what in psychiatry is called a flight of ideas. This is where you're not able to concentrate on a specific idea. You just run right on. Flight of idea.
Somebody's
Flight
not in the
of
right mind.
idea. So, as we talk about LNG and the stealing of the plan of Leslie Miller, you would recall that under Dr. Hubert Minnis' administration, they attempted to introduce LNG. You would remember that the former Prime Minister Hubert Alexander Ingram was representing one white man. I believe the white man's name was Mora. And Mora wanted to put an LNG plant on Arawaki. You remember that? Now, what caused the LNG plan to fail under Dr. Minnis? Dr. Minnis had a Negro man who became his second deputy prime minister. Remember? His name is Desmond Bannister. Desmond Bannister had a sidekick, because most deputy prime ministers are not comfortable unless they have a sidekick. Desmond Bannister sidekick was one man named Rollins. Rollins was a Negro man who had some kind of furniture shop somewhere out there. Well, you remember that as a result of Desmond Bannister, Minnis' second deputy prime minister, corrupting principles, a Negro woman who was the chairman of the women's branch of the FNM and the chairman of BPL, one Osborne. What Miss Osborne's name is, I don't remember it. She, on her board, they resigned over the corruption. But Dr. Minnis is in the House of Assembly running on about who set up the mooring. But he has forgotten the corruption under his administration that compelled Miss Osborne, the woman branch chairman of the FNM and the chairman of the BPL board, her and her board to resign. I just want you all to recognize this. That is what happened. And then the former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram, he had a whole white man. I believe the white man's name was Mora. And Mora wanted to put an LG plant on Arawaki. You remember that big row? As everybody tried to steal Leslie Miller glorious LNG plan. See, they're up against me. I'm only sick, but they're up against me. And that is what happened because Desmond Bannister, our party should not give Desmond a nomination until he write 300 lines apologizing for the corruption that emanated when he was the minister responsible for BPL. And he did not manage or manhandle Rollins. I bet you Negroes don't remember that. Take that from me. That happened. That happened. So you got to watch out for Dr. Minnis as he pretends to be clean. And Dr. Minnis is not politically clean. So there he was in the House of Assembly talking about the mooring. But he has failed to confess that sin that was committed that caused the woman to resign. And then she subsequently sued. And I think Philip Brave Davis' administration had to pay her, I don't want to say how much money she got, because I don't want anybody to beg her. I know her grandfather very well. He was one of the big international number man. He was called Baron Suzuki. Baron Suzuki. All right? Wonderful F&M, a wonderful number man, great man. And the PLP had to pay Miss Osborne because of what Dr. Minnis and the others done. So this is powerful. So I thought I'll say that to you. It's a glorious day. And I thought I'll tell it to you because we're in trouble. Because we have Michael Pintard raising the question about accountability over LNG. And Michael was right in the cabinet when his second deputy prime minister committed the sin. You see how politically dishonest we are? But y'all are blessed that I'm an F&M. So this is powerful. Come, Minister.
Not yet. Not really yet.
Huh?
Talk, man.
Okay, I'm talking. Tout le monde haïtien, jodia m'a gen minister responsible pour security national. So this is some of the things that has happened in our country, and thank God I remember. Thank God I remember what we have done. And I'm prepared to invite Desmond Bannister to come on this show and defend that wicked policy that led to the resignation of Sister Osborne. She was a wonderful F&M woman. Now she's no longer in the party, and I suspect she's no longer in the party because of the corruption of the F&M. So these are some of the things that I wanted to tell you as we look at some of the things that is happening in our society. So it's a great day, and the F&M is making some allegations. They're very concerned now about fire in Grand Bahama, and so I'm happy to have in studio the minister responsible for national security, the minister who's responsible for the police, the minister who's responsible for the fire engine. So that's the Honorable Meade Monroe. And I want to welcome you, Minister. Welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you very much, Brother Monka. You know, you summoned me here. I'm missing the tattoo in Gambia. The police are having a tattoo in Gambia this evening from 5 p.m.
Yes.
So I'll miss this one because you summoned me, but I'll go to the one in Angliston next week.
Well, I had to ask you, Minister, please forgive me, to come because the shadow Minister of National Security, you know you have a shadow, right?
The shadow disappears in the light,
This is powerful. So it is my hope and prayer that you will be able to put light so that the shadow would disappear. So the shadow Minister of National Security is Shannon Cartwright. He's now concerned over the fact that in F&M country, where the torch is hot, the trees are burning. And he has accused the PLP of not having any fire engine. Historically, wasn't there a fire engine in Grand Bahama?
There are three.
There are three fire engines.
There were three stationed there at the time of Dorian. All of them went underwater when the waters rose. Of those three, they then malfunctioned to a differing degree over the years since we took office. They didn't replace them, so they just kept them, and that's what they had for Grand Bahama.
I don't want you to say they. I want to
your
take,
party.
I want to
your
take,
party.
I want to take ownership.
Your party, the FNM.
Make me feel big.
Your party, the FNM, had 5 MPs, 5 cabinet ministers from Grand Bahama. The engines went underwater. They never replaced them for 2.5 years after Dorian, and they constantly broke down. They also didn't supplement the manpower of the fire service. When we came to office, we recruited a squad for the fire service. They were trained in Grand Bahama, actually, and we've also bought 2 engines since then. Now I think he says we have 5 engines. I don't think he's correct, but if we had 5 engines, that means we bought 2 of those 5.
Okay.
And that doesn't count the 3 in Grand Bahama that are not working, but 1 is working, was used in the past fires that had been repaired, and 1 was sent from New Providence. We have a squad of 200 officers going in Grand Bahama and New Providence, and there'll be further fire service officers trained there. The commissioner and the team, including the fire chief, is currently visiting 2 factories with a view to locating engines, with a view to acquiring 15 engines.
15 fire engines?
15.
For Grand Bahama?
No, not for Grand Bahama. Now, every island, a fire engine may not be the appropriate solution. Kwesi Thompson in the House talked about how the water trucks were better. So on some family islands, that may be the better solution. But the fire chief has been asked to come up with a solution for the entire Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Okay.
So again, they did very little to keep manpower up, and they did precious little in keeping equipment up. The same thing with the police officers and the patrol vehicles. But you don't worry about history, that just tells you where you're building from.
So we in the FNM, we had 3 fire engines
that went underwater.
And this would have been during Hurricane Dorian.
Yes.
Were we in power after the hurricane ended?
Not only that, you had all of the MPs for Grand Bahama, all of them were in the cabinet, and the Minister of Finance, the same Kwesi Thompson at one point, and Peter Turnquest before him, or the Minister of Finance was always from Grand Bahama.
Really?
Yeah.
So we had almost the whole government there?
5.
And we didn't buy it?
No. You didn't replace them, you didn't recruit, and you know that Grand Bahama, Abaco always has a fire season.
Yes. Mr. Personal Advisor, is this a new revelation?
No, I have nothing to say.
You don't have anything to say?
No.
I thank you. Lord, keep him quiet.
That's not nice, Brother Wanka.
Well, so that he would not sin.
I mean, see, it's best to have exposed what people say you have to answer, you see?
Yes.
So unless you answer it, people would not understand that you're not criticizing the FNM per se, but if they say you haven't done anything, you're to blame. If you leave me with $1,000 in the bank and I have $100, then you could criticize me for losing $900.
Yes.
But if you leave me with no money in the bank and I have 100, you can't say, why don't you have 1,000? Because I'm working towards it. I'm building from what you left. I'm fixing the problem that you left.
So we now understand what is the problem at Grand Bahama. What about Eleuthera? There's a fire in Eleuthera. What do you have to tell me about that?
It's the same issue. The issue for fire apparatus all over the Bahamas is just that. We have these, I think it's up to 13 inhabited islands. I read a little newsletter from Great Harbor Key, for instance, where they use what they have in Inagua. In Inagua, they have a big tank with a pump.
Okay.
And the truck can hook it up and carry it. I'm told in Spanish Wells they have a big water truck.
Okay.
So the issue is going to be to have sufficient apparatus for the entire Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and we're building from what we have and what we found in place, and then to have fire service officers to disperse throughout the islands, and we're working with what we have, and we're building on them, supplementing their numbers.
So,
and we have National Youth Guard persons who will be trained in this area, as well as they assisted in Andros doing the fires. So all of that is what we're trying to do.
So, please explain to me, what then is your ministry offering Eleuthera?
Well, it's not my ministry, it's the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
Okay.
They're responsible for fire services.
Okay.
And so I will have to, the fire chief, when he returns, they'll configure the engines, because these are engines that they went to view how they make them.
Okay.
So it's not like the drones.
Okay.
Where they bought the drones watching a video. This is where you go, you watch
now,
how
who's they?
Your government, the FNM government.
We bought drones. We didn't go over there to look at the drones?
No, you committed to, I think it was $17 million without actually going and seeing the people's factory, how the things were put together, thinking it through at all.
Minister, are you sure that our Minister of National Security, that would be
Marvin Dames.
Marvin Dames, he didn't go away?
No, see, I don't know how they were operating.
Okay.
But for instance, they bought blimps.
Okay.
That couldn't operate in high breeze.
Okay.
And everyone knows you have breeze in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Yes, we do have breeze.
They bought underwater drones that could go down, let's say, 600 meters. And the people say they only can give them 65 feet of cable. And
Really?
They agreed to that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you sure, Minister?
I'm only telling you what I found, Brother Monka.
Okay.
Because it was a binding contract that we had to complete.
Okay.
They bought over the horizon long-range drones, gas-powered drones, that can only take off and land from special grass airfields.
Now, when you say special grass airfield, what do you mean by that, Minister?
It has to be an airfield made of particular grass that can't be cut with ordinary lawnmowers, and that you have to keep irrigated, and you can only put on some islands. They got those as opposed to vertical takeoff and landing drones that you could launch from anywhere, including your vessels.
Give me an example or an idea of what is vertical takeoff. What do you mean by vertical takeoff?
It's, for instance, there's a memorandum of understanding being entered into with the Bahamas National Trust to help police the Exuma Land and Sea Park.
Yes.
And the vehicle, the aircraft they are looking to use is a vertical landing and takeoff drone. You'll sit it there, it takes off like a helicopter, flies like a plane, lands like a helicopter, so you don't need to plant special grass. If it is flying and it has a problem, it could go to the nearest landmass and set down. You could use it from any of the islands. If you're on HMBS Nassau or Bahamas, you could take it on the boat, launch it from the boat, recover it on the boat. What we have now, what they left us with, you have to have a special grass landing.
Now, when you talk about a special grass, because I'm always suspicious when I hear the word grass.
Why?
Well, you know, I think grass is sinful.
Why? I thought you thought Indian hemp was sinful.
That's a grass.
Indian hemp is not a grass.
It's not?
No.
Well,
it's a tree.
In Black Village, we call that grass.
No, but see, that's where Brother Monka, you say you never smoke.
Never smoke.
And I bet you think marijuana is a grass.
It is not a grass. It's a herb.
It's a tree.
It's a plant.
It's a
right?
tree.
Yeah.
Well, Minister, what kind of grass did the F&M leave?
No, there's only one landing strip currently at HMPS Coral Harbor.
Really?
There's none anywhere else because it cost a bit to do them.
Really?
Yeah. But
Is this crabgrass?
no. This is a special grass, man.
I really would like to see this grass.
You just like to say grass, eh?
Yeah. You know,
And you so against
So
grass.
is it
Well,
turf?
you know.
Is it turf or
Yeah,
just?
it's like a turf.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
my spiritual advisor, what is a turf?
Turf is artificial.
No. It's not artificial. Like if you ever go out by where FML headquarters is,
Yeah.
and you see what they have, it looks like a lawn, but it's not really
that's
grass.
the golf course.
And if you ever
kinda
see them
grass
cutting
thing.
it, it's not like an ordinary lawnmower.
It's a
special
machine with these little
lawnmower.
tin blades that they use.
Yeah, so that's
cut it.
that's your feel. Like,
Yeah,
I almost
yeah,
forgot.
yeah.
So, you know, I know you'd be happy if you say we give you the contract.
Yeah, man. Yeah, y'all give me the contract so I can put down.
So there is a
the
contract
special.
for that kind of
No,
grass?
no, not currently, not currently. but see, why are you so? Marvin Dames, did you something? We were talking about fire engines.
We were talking about fire engine, but you know, Marvin is an old policeman, so I would expect that Brother James would be able to determine what kind of drone would be best for the country.
Yeah, that's what it is. But the point I was making with Amanka is we don't fall into that trap. So
Okay.
they saw how they put them together. So now the fire chief is there. He can say, this is the configuration of what we need for New Providence. This is the configuration for what we need here, and everywhere. So that you get what you actually need, as opposed to what somebody wants to give you.
Okay. And at the moment, the commissioner of police and the fire chief is out of the country looking at some fire engines.
Two factories where they make them.
Okay.
And all of the options based on that.
Okay. All right. So we can expect perhaps in the distant future some additional fire.
But this administration is not a distant future. For your party, everything is a distant future and a promise. Because you know my cousin, your leader, like to talk.
So are you suggesting to me that
How soon these fire trucks can get you? Because you all only got one more year.
No, man, we have at least 15 more.
All right.
are you suggesting
We'll see.
that the
You don't
F&M
agree? You don't agree, Fred?
Better try and get them trucks here quick.
But you know the one thing I can say, Brother Moncan, spiritual. What you say, spiritual, is just very true. What we don't deliver won't get done.
Wow, that's powerful.
and so the Bahamian people, when it comes to 2026, will see what is happening. They will see the F&M in 4.5 years bought none. And we've already delivered 2. And we delivered 2 within 2 years of being elected. And now we're seeking to deliver 15, hopefully before not too much longer.
That's 15 fire engines.
We would have delivered 17 in all when those 15 joined, whereas they delivered none. And now crying about fire.
Let's wait and see if the 15
Are you really sincere?
Well, put it this way, spiritual. We have already delivered 2.
Okay.
So we've already delivered infinitely more than they did. Because anything more than 0 is infinitely more than 0.
So these fire trucks, they are standard shift or automatic?
Some might say.
If they are properly done, they ought to be standard shift.
You can't drive standard shift, my spiritual advisor.
Why would you want to put a manual transmission on an emergency vehicle?
What large vehicle you know is automatic?
Garbage trucks. As a matter of fact, somebody called us from the fire department.
You ever have a container head that's automatic?
No, they're stick shift. Yeah, they're stick shift. But presently the trucks at the headquarters, they are automatic.
And how's that been working out?
I don't know. It has been working.
Really?
Yeah, they say, you know, when the drivers call us, they say, listen, it wouldn't make any sense to have these trucks standing shift. That's counterproductive.
Why?
Because you want to go. you want to go. You don't have time to sink, clutch, and
You never
know.
drove standard shift?
Yeah, of course.
So what's the issue?
It's when you have an emergency, you need to be focusing on getting there. All right. Clutch and shifting is a distraction.
Really?
I can tell you that.
You should
Yesterday,
ask the spiritual advisor to show you what
that's
kind of
what happened.
driver's license he has.
That's what's happening with the ambulances. Remember now, you all got about 15 of them just sitting there and doing nothing.
That's not so.
Because you gotta train people to drive them.
Of course, you have to always train
Because
people
not
to drive.
everybody can drive standard shift.
You know what? You know what the issue is with the ambulances, and we're correcting that too.
They're too small.
No. You can't have a huge vehicle to get through traffic.
But you can't put a fat man in those ambulances. They're too small.
Yes, you can. Fat Bayman's been going in them all the time now. The issue with the ambulance is with why you see them, they're there to go to the island. But you have to have EMTs on the island. And what is being done now, so the Bayman public will know, is Dr. Darville has asked the Commissioner of Police to provide him with the name of police reservists on these islands, who are willing to be trained as EMTs to drive these vehicles. And they're bringing them in and training them. And where there aren't reservists, there have been a few regular officers. So you need trained emergency medical technicians to go.
We have in studio the minister responsible for national security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe. When we return, the spiritual advisor will cross-examine him. This is powerful. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save the King. Hold on, everybody. We'll be right back. It's powerful.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. We have the minister responsible for national security with us. We're going to be putting the hard questions to him. And of course, it's birthday time, my spiritual advisor.
Yeah, let me see.
May I go first?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
So, folks, there is a young boy by the name of Carson Ramming. Carson is celebrating his 6th birthday. And of course, he is the favorite grandson of grandmother Christine Barr. So Christine Barr wishes her grandbaby, who's 6 years old today, a happy birthday. And of course, birthday greeting comes to him from his uncle, Cornelius Barr Jr. But his dad, Alfred Barr, yes, Alfred Ramming, his father is Alfred Ramming, and Alfred Ramming is so proud that his son has turned 6 today. So, Carson Ramming, happy birthday from the people them, my spiritual advisor.
All right, we got a couple birthdays. Gertline Dean, today's March the 21st. Gertline Dean is celebrating the birthday. Happy birthday. Sorry, your birthday's tomorrow. Forgive me. So we're doing a pre-birthday shout out to you. Tomorrow, the 22nd of March. It's coming from her 3 daughters, Gretel, Sheena, and Smitri, her granddaughter, Simone, her grandson, Wentley, Luke, and Zaire, her 2 sons-in-laws, Rodman and Adario, her adopted daughters, Elaine, Roberta, Chantal, and Betshan, all her family members and friends, especially the Annex Baptist Church family. All right, so happy birthday to you, Gertline Dale. Yvonne, well, yours is Sunday. Pre-birthday shout out to Yvonne. Coming from her 2 sons, grandkids, brothers, sisters, nieces, and nephews. She celebrates on Sunday the 23rd. Okay, so all the best to you, Yvonne. Sandra is celebrating 75 years of Earth Day. Happy birthday to Sandra from your husband, your children, your grandchildren.
That's Sandra.
Is this Sandra's?
It's a young
She can't be 75.
Wow.
Wow.
Good
Boy,
name.
you look good. You're going to live till you get 150. It comes from your grandchildren, siblings, and friends. Have a fabulous cake day. They love you. Happy birthday, Sandra. Renee Etienne is celebrating the birthday. Happy birthday to Renee Etienne, coming from her husband, Anthony Etienne, and in memory of her son, DJ Swa, daughters, Antonique, Rajane, and Antonia, grandkids, Ajane, Dajane, Ajron, her best friend, Elsie May, Macintosh, family and friends in the Facebook group of Freedom March. Enjoy your day. Lucha Girl, they love you. Happy birthday, Renee Etienne. Marva Orville, happy birthday, coming from the family and friends to Miss Mara, M-A-R-A, Mara Orville. Do enjoy your birthday. Fayette Higgs is celebrating the birthday on Sunday. It's a pre-birthday shout out. We wish her all the best. Coming from the children and parents, and also the Harbor Island community. Happy birthday to Fayette Higgs. Donya Martin. We'd like to send a birthday shout out to Donya Martin today. Okay, happy birthday to you. We hope you enjoy your birthday. She is one of the women then. And of course, Wayne, Alexander, Nathan Monroe. Yes, sir.
Thomas Monroe, he turns 31 today.
Okay, good.
He's on patrol on HMBS Kamalami, maybe somewhere in Lake Zomans.
HMBS Kamalami. Okay, I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah,
all right, great.
HMBS Kamalami, Madeira, Lignum, Vitae, Cascarilla.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. 4 of them.
All right, so at least we were able to buy some Defense Force boats, eh?
No, that's from the Sandy Bottom Project by the PLT. I don't know what the F&M has ever bought. They bought some drones that need grass.
Boy, we need Marvin Dames, man. Marvin Dames, you let me down, man. All right, you got the new Minister of National Security here, and I can't even pick a fight with him.
Yeah,
because you didn't do it right, Marvin.
Well, it's not him. I see he might have been my predecessor, and I caught it where it is. But a part of why we can do what we do in terms of the police going to get the engines, recruiting more people in 20 months than they did in 4.5 years, and getting currently 4 41-foot safe boats and the new 80 handlers, because the Minister of Finance responds positively. You see, when Kwesi Thompson was Minister of Finance, if he wanted engines for Grand Bahama, he just tell Marvin, look man, send me the thing through for the engines and I'll pay it. If you need new fire service people, say put in for a squad and I'll approve it. That's when you have power and you do nothing with it. And then you complain later.
Marvin, I'll see you out one day and we'll talk about this.
He probably, to be fair to him, he'll probably tell you it was Menace and Crazy, them who wasn't working with him. No, to be fair, listen, I could have all the plans I want. And if when I go to the Minister of Finance, he say no.
That's a different story.
What I'm to do, I could say, I could get upset and resign and leave, but that's about it.
Anyhow,
so I don't think Dr. Menace or Kwesi Thompson liked Marvin. I don't think they like to do anything. They borrowed a gang of money and has very little to show for it.
Really?
Yeah, billions of dollars every year.
Wow. This is powerful.
Didn't buy a fire engine. Didn't buy a boat.
Well, Minister, I want to test what you're saying. I'm going to publicly call on the leader of the FNM, who's chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. Michael Pintard, you are the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. Can you not hold a hearing to determine if what the minister is telling us is accurate? Would he have the authority as chairman of the Public Accounts Committee to conduct that investigation, Minister?
He could conduct an investigation into the drones. And we could bring all of it before him about the blimps we had to send back, about the special airstrips, about American drones that were never accepted, and then the American company had to provide us with Chinese drones.
Really?
Yeah.
President Trump isn't aware of that, hey? Because...
Well, they sell DJI drones in America. That's the top of the line Chinese drones.
Yeah, they're just made in China.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope
everything made in China.
I hope President Trump will
the hat
tax
that
that.
you have on is made in China.
No, not this.
Take it off and look at it.
This is American hat.
Take it off.
No. I'm not taking this off.
Take it off and look at it.
This is
made in China.
Not this
Take
year.
it off and look at the black
We're going to make America great again. I'm not going to listen
by
to
selling Chinese hats and making a profit.
No, this is not a Chinese hat. This hat was made in America by President Donald Trump.
It has the American idea, but to assemble it and put it together, it's done in China.
Stop attacking the president.
No, he's not attacking him. The whole concept of introducing tariffs on things imported into your country is that they're made elsewhere.
Made in China, right?
No.
It won't be there. It's the tag on the side. Yeah.
No. They say made in the United States.
You sure?
Well, see it there.
You can't see that good.
No, well, you could see good. Tell me what it's made in, so I can have the Americans put you on the stop list.
Why would you wish that on spiritual advisor?
I think he should stop flying.
Why?
To the States.
No, it's not here. We don't see anything.
I told you it's an American hat.
No, there's nothing that says where this is made. So
goodness have mercy.
Okay.
Look how.
Okay. It's probably made in America. I don't know.
It's very simple. If it's made in China and it's saying "Make America Great Again," you wouldn't put the labels in.
Right. This was made in America. Okay.
But Minister, while we have you here, we've been inundated with questions about reservists and them being paid. Now, please explain this to me, because apparently, for some strange reason, the reservists, they cannot be paid on time. It takes months.
What's the time for them to be paid?
I don't know. So you explain it to me.
As the Commissioner of Police explains it to me, they don't make a salary. So for people,
what do they make?
So people who make salaries, like police officers, every month, your salary will go there. If you're sick and we shouldn't have paid you, you would be overpaid, and then we have to recover it. Every month it goes there.
Okay.
Reservists are paid, I think they call it a stipend, that's based on how many hours they work a month. There's a maximum number of hours they work in a number of different areas and divisions. All of the timesheets are tabulated and submitted at the conclusion of the month. So people are paid, I think it's 2 or 3 working days before the end of the month. So clearly if you work in January as a reservist, you can't be paid in January. And then you have to compile the pay sheets, and then you have to vet them and submit them. In the public service, there's a cutoff date in the month that if you don't submit things for payment by that date, you won't be paid
that month. You'll get paid the following month.
Exactly. So it will depend on when you submit it. Now, we want to move to payments every 2 weeks, because if you miss the first cutoff date, you guess the second cutoff date, and you wouldn't be jumping months in advance.
Okay.
But some of the unions say they want their people to have to wait months to be paid instead of 2 weeks. I don't know why that makes sense, but that's what they want. And so once you have that submitted, then it's processed, sent up, and then it can be processed for payment.
Okay, so
I do not think that they do it individually. So reservists are spread throughout all divisions and units, and there are regular policemen who verify their time.
So you'll have to wait for the time for all of these reservists from all these various units to come together.
I think
when you say vet, you mean you have to say that the person did work. You have to prove that they worked.
No, there's a sign-in sheet.
Okay.
They tabulate it. They send it in.
Okay. So
and that is their system, and then it goes to the HR, accounts, and police for them to submit for payment.
So
they're not paid salaries.
Okay, so
they cannot be paid regularly monthly like everyone else.
So this is March. We're in March. So
they were last paid for December.
So you still have January and February that hasn't been paid.
So if you did the sheets for January and you submitted them beyond the date in February, you would be paid in March.
So they could expect payment this month?
I'm not in police, HR, or accounts.
So, police reservists, I don't know what to tell you.
No, you're not listening to the principle that the minister gave you.
So what you want me to do? I'm just telling them that he's spoken now, they understand. You have to wait.
No, it's simple, I always tell people, you always ask a question. So I had to get a refund for my customs duties because I overpaid it when they had a glitch in the system. And so I sent it in. And I asked them, do you need anything else? They said they needed a soft card, which is my thing. I got it, I sent it to them. I called them, I said, when can I expect it? And that's how you do it.
Okay, so the argument...
I said, contact the HR account section of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. That's how you would do it, eh? If I owed you, would you ask for the Monica when you can get paid?
No, I have to come.
Ask me?
I have to come to you.
Yes.
Anyhow, something is going on, Minister.
These are police officers.
Could you please correct it? Something is going on.
These are police officers.
How you could argue that something is going on when he tells you how the paying is done?
I understand that.
Please, you are Christian.
Senator,
you are saved, man.
What you attacking me for, man?
I'm not attacking you. I'm trying to rebuke the devil in you.
No.
See, all right?
He explains the system, right? And I understand it. But obviously,
don't forget you an accountant.
Yeah, but
you're a banker.
But the issue, though, is that obviously the system is not working.
Yeah,
because
that's how it's worked for the whole time that the reserves have been around. Okay. So I'm being told that's how it has always worked from the reserves have been around.
So let me ask a question. What you're actually saying is that these officers who volunteer their time as reservists, they should really have another salary coming in someplace else.
Now your reserve isn't your main job. It shouldn't be your main job.
It's voluntary.
Yes. That's why it's limited hours.
So you don't have to work if you don't want to as reservists?
You make yourself available. For instance, they can determine tomorrow that they don't need 90% of the reserves and never roster them to work.
But you know what the reserves are actually saying? That they probably do more work than the actual police officers who are supposed to be on duty. They use them more.
I wouldn't
And as a
say
result of that, they need their monies because they got mortgage to pay.
We're not going to go into that
I
speculation.
wouldn't say that.
All right?
I would say reserve.
That's the argument they've been advancing.
No, reserve officers work and work hard and work shoulder to shoulder with ordinary police, with regular police officers. When they signed up for the system as it's been around from that time, since King Hammer was a hatchet. The Royal Bahamas Police Force hasn't had a commissioner of police yet who is charged with the administration of the force in which that falls, who has any inclination to change that way of doing business.
All right. There you have it.
Yeah. But no reservist is compelled to work. If it's something that is unbearable, then they can just make themselves unavailable for duty.
But the reality is they will be paid. Once they put in the time, they will be paid.
Yes.
All right.
That's my understanding. If they aren't, they should make inquiries at Human Resources, the account section of the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
Would they be disciplined for trying to figure out
This is your final question on that, and I want to go to another thing. I can't spend the whole day on the police reserve. The minister has told you the process. Minister, there is a Negro man.
They can't be disciplined for asking a question. Very simply.
There's a Negro man by the name of Arthur Taylor.
Rude, eh? Wow.
There's a Negro man by the name of Arthur Taylor who the Tribune is suggesting, the Tribune and the FNM is suggesting that he has been fired as the parliamentary commissioner. What is your defense?
I need a defense.
What is your reply?
Well, firstly, I think I first saw that reported on this show.
That is true. We broke the news.
So I'm not sure if they didn't just plagiarize what you were saying, because
I think there's a lot of plagiarism.
Sometimes you speculate.
No,
not all the time.
That was real journalism.
Yeah. No, so you found it out. It was early days, and you know when you say this could have been the case, the next could have been the case, but you make it plain that you're speculating.
This is powerful.
The fact of the matter is, I was granted some leave myself, and I traveled from Tuesday evening, returned Monday evening. When I returned, I was advised by my PS that Commissioner Taylor had requested vacation leave, 6 weeks or so, and was granted. I was then advised by OPM that Commissioner Taylor had requested to be transferred, and that will be making its way through to me and has made its way through to the ministry to be addressed.
So once he is transferred, is there a vacancy created in that office?
There would be for a very short time. I'm not going to speak with regard to you. That's why you bring me on air, to try it.
Well, I need to know, because don't forget now,
something else.
As F&M.
He talking about fire and all the rest of that.
As F&M.
That's what you bring me on air for.
And the party needs to know what's going on.
You're not F&M, man. Why don't you stop that?
He's UBP, you're correct.
My spiritual
is not an F&M.
Minister, if you look at the spiritual advisor and you look at me, who looks more F&M? He looks like a PLP.
He should be.
Yeah.
Why,
all right.
because they're black?
So, yes, I'm proud. Minister, so will we have a replacement?
Yes, Brother Bunker, an office can't be vacant.
And will the PLP be sexist and name a woman?
I'm not at liberty to disclose that. You see, you think you could get me to come here and tell you this. I cannot do that.
Okay. Well, for the record, I am opposing a woman being appointed.
Why?
As the parliamentary commissioner.
Why?
I will tell that to you off air. Okay? You
know God put woman in charge of children, right?
Yeah, the woman in charge of children, but I don't want
And what's more important than raising the children?
Well, I don't want them in charge of the parliamentary registration department, because that woman who I have been told could end up as the parliamentary commissioner, I have no confidence in her. And if you name her, I'm going to have to attack her.
Why? I don't know who you're talking about, Mark you.
Let's call her Lucille. I have no confidence in Lucille, and I call on you publicly to name a man. You can give me any man, even if it's a bugger man. All right? But I don't want Sister Lucille.
That's very sexist, you know.
No, I'm not being sexist. That woman isn't safe.
No, but that's one woman. You say no woman.
Yeah. She's the only woman, I'm told, that is on the mind of the government. Okay. And I don't want her in charge.
But stop being so sexist.
I'm not being sexist. I'm leader of the woman them. And as a leader, I should have a choice in which woman hold certain state position. I don't want
Suppose it's a woman other than Lucille. Would you have a problem?
If she's,
whoever Lucille is.
If she's safe.
So you don't want any unsafe person. But that should apply to man or woman. You should say, Minister, I don't want you to appoint an unsafe person.
Well, I would choose an unsafe man over an unsafe woman. Okay? So please don't name her. Okay, so we're clear on that, folks. And is the Parliamentary Commissioner's Office open in view of the fact that Arthur Taylor is on vacation? Are there anyone there?
Of course it's open. When I went on leave from Tuesday to Monday, and the Ministry of National Security never closed.
Okay. And where is the new Parliamentary Commissioner's Office?
This is in I think it was Bank of the Bahamas, and on Harold Road, Tonic Williams Darling Highway.
Okay. The old Workers' Bank building.
Yes.
Okay. And it's open, and Bahamians who have turned 18 or who are not registered can go there and get registered.
Yes.
This is great. So that's great news. Do you wish to support Lucille, my spiritual advisor?
They don't know either.
No.
No, we agree. Both of us agree that Lucille.
You know who Lucille supposedly is spiritual. You don't need to share it with me. I don't know any Lucille.
Okay, this is great. The spiritual advisor and I, we do quietly agree on things, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you've cleared up that point for me. Now, there's this talk going on. The United States government has accused the Bahamas and the Caribbean of participating in a form of slavery. Now, certainly it's clear that you are of the African race. Am I correct, Minister?
My ancestors were extracted from Africa by force and brought to this part of the world, yes.
Would you support slavery?
No, of course not, Brother Manka. I've heard you talking about this, and last year there's something called trafficking in persons.
Yes.
We maintain a Tier 1 rating in trafficking in persons, which is the highest rating, and we've had it for 10 years. And that is because we take trafficking in persons very seriously. The preamble of the Constitution provides, amongst other things, that we, after the recitals, it says, now know ye therefore, amongst other things, it says that do hereby proclaim in solemn praise the establishment of a free and democratic sovereign nation founded on spiritual values, in which no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone, or their labor exploited, or their lives frustrated by deprivation. That's in the very beginning of our Constitution.
And so you would now argue that...
And that's our supreme law.
Our supreme law. So the country you submit is not guilty of that crime?
Well, what we do with regard seeking to prevent forced labor isn't a function of seeking to please Secretary Marco Rubio or President Donald Trump. It's because of our values. We are the descendants of slaves. We do not tolerate slavery.
God save the descendants of the slaves. May they never hold anyone in slavery. God save the king. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We'll be right back after the break. It's powerful today.
Do you have something to say to the Senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV.
Who are the boss for dancer?
International events and production. Alive, Bahamas Air, Everybody Wins Live, and Field of Vibes Bahamas Weekend presents
the Evolution Concert on Saturday, March 29th at Clifford Park, featuring Vibes Cartel and Friends.
Bahamas, Nassau. Where is this Saturday the 29th of March?
It's one of the biggest events to hit the shores of Nassau, Bahamas.
Get ready for Addy the Teacher, the Dancehall King, aka the World Boss, Vibes Cartel.
Real bad man, no muggle in a shot.
Log into our official airline Bahamas Air for travel specials. It gets better. We're also giving away a brand new Cybertruck.
And up to $50,000 in cash and prizes at the concert. Compliments of Everybody Wins Live.
Log into our website, feelthevibesweekend.com.
For tickets, tables, skyboxes, and more info.
Visit Ticket Flair or email intlevents242@gmail.com.
WhatsApp or call 1242-808-2369.
I remember Cartel I go did it.
Enjoy zero-down financing on your next visit to Montague Motors. Our selection of cars come included with license, inspection, and a 3-month warranty. And with our easy 24 hours financing, you will be on the road in up to 48 hours. What makes Montague Motors different? We inspect our cars in Japan, providing you with the best quality purchase. Visit Montague Motors today, number 6 Village Road. Call or check our Facebook page for more information.
is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. It's a Friday evening. Beam! And of course, we have in studio with us the Minister responsible for National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe. My spiritual advisor is Bradley Roll, and Bradley is going to pay some bills for us, my spiritual advisor.
We go first with Modernistic, right? Are your dogs hungry and tired of low-quality food? Give them the best at Modernistic. We carry all the top brands. Taste of the Wild, Diamond Naturals, Victor, Anukshuk, all at the lowest prices in town. On a budget, we've got 50-pound bags starting at just $49, and for limited time, buy any large bag of dog food and get a $10 coupon redeemable on select dog toys and treats. If you can't make it in, shop online at www.modernisticgarden.com and we'll deliver right to your door. Your pet deserves quality, your wallet deserves savings. Shop in store or shop online today. Hurry, offer won't last.
This is powerful.
We got Tanya?
Hello, Tanya. How are you today?
Good afternoon, Rodney Monk, and good afternoon, Spiritual Advisor. It's your girl, Tanya, coming to you live from Shop Smart Department Store, where we say we're here for you for whatever season of your life and everyday living. And today, yes, we are showing you all of our beautiful decor that we have here in the store for you. Yesterday, we started out with all of the dish and table settings. Now, let's give you another idea of what you can do, maybe on your end table, on your fireplace, on your mantle, or anywhere in your home. You can just put these cute pieces together that we have here in the store. When I say that we have ceramic bunnies, we have them for you. We have the ceramic eggs, we have the felt eggs, we have the felt bunnies, we've got the stuffed bunnies. Whatever type bunny you're looking for, just come on into Shop Smart. We've got you covered. Look at this beautiful picture pour that we have, whether you want it in the metal with the pictures and the big topiary green and pink or green and purple, or just come on in. We've got a wide variety of topiaries that you can use here at the store. We've also got the small mini pitcher in ceramic. It's all white, and you can put all of these lovely egg picks inside of it. You can do your blues and yellows, you can do your pink and white, you can have your purple, whatever color you want to go with. Just know that these are beautiful spring colors, Easter colors that you can do your decor with. We like to tell you that Shop Smart is here for you for everyday living as well as every season. So now that we've covered some of the Easter season, remember, if you want to change out your curtains and you want to change out your chair coverings, you can also come right here into Shop Smart and take advantage of what we have here for you in the colors of the season, as well as you can come and get all of your small appliances that you're looking for. If you want to change the linen in your room, you want to change your bedroom sets, you want to change all of your comforters, your pillows, whatever it is you need to change in the bedroom, including the throw or area rugs. Shop Smart, the one-stop shop, your miracle, right here on Mackey Street. Shop Smart is open Monday to Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. for your shopping convenience. If you can't come in the store, just give us a call on number 698-1051 or 698-1052, or you can just send us a message on our WhatsApp line. That number, 813-4397. That's 813-4397. Spiritual Advisor, Mr. Monko. If you can't come in or send us a message, just go on our social media platforms. That is Shop Smart 242. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we are on TikTok. I look forward to seeing y'all sometime in the store. And y'all remember to have a fabulous weekend and shop early, shop often, and shop smart.
Thank you, Tanya. Tanya is one of the woman them. So, folks, we're going to go into accepting calls. We don't want calls, nothing to do with religion. I have a whole ministry here. You can call, and the spiritual advisor will accept calls which you are asking the minister a question. I want you to be respectful and just get to the point, and the minister will be compelled,
so I'm being censored,
in accordance with the law, to answer your question. My spiritual advisor, you're being censored.
censoring me, eh?
Behold
It's amazing.
the people.
Be careful of that. 323-7775 is the number to call. 698-0775, 698-0776. So reservists, we have the minister here. You can call in. And any question you have, please.
No. Reservists, you're not to call the minister. You will speak to the minister privately. This is a political show. You're a policeman. You listen to me, for I am the son of a late police officer. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live. What I tell you.
Mr. Mango.
Sir.
Communism.
The only thing look like F&M on you is your cap and your necktie and your bow tie.
I thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Spiritual advisor is right.
Yes.
He's not an F&M.
Good evening, gentlemen. Mr. Monroe.
Yes, sir.
On one of the show, I asked you, as Minister of National Security, what is your position on capital punishment? And you give me guidelines and procedures that is in place by the law to follow. And you said that the laws are on the book. But what I wanted to find out when I asked the question is if you support capital punishment or not, and why.
I support every punishment that's on the books. And I've said this before, capital punishment has a practical effect for someone in my seat, which is that you don't have to expend resources on somebody you execute.
I still don't know what your position on it, sir.
I support every penalty on the books, from probation up to the highest one, which is capital punishment.
Could I further make a comment on that matter?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Mr. Monroe, correct me if I'm wrong in my thinking or my observation on the matter. I would have thought that when Prince Charles, who is now King Charles,
oh hallelujah,
hand over or present Lyndon Penland with the instrument or the document with consent and the authority to move away from the British colony rule. Again, I thought that gave the Bahamas permission and the rights as a sovereign nation to govern its own affairs. So why should we have to answer or get permission from somebody outside of the country to give us permission to carry out capital punishment when the law is already on the books?
If you're talking about the Privy Council, they have said that you can execute people. They said to Trinidad, in fact, that how their constitution is worded, the mandatory death penalty is constitutional in Trinidad. We didn't win our independence like the Haitians did, and we were given it subject to an agreement. Our constitution that I read from is not a Bahamian document. It's an order in council by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II at Buckingham Palace. And so everyone has heard about the constitutional conferences where persons from the PLP, F&M went and met in the UK, in England. And so what happened was the English say you can be independent, you have to adopt this constitution as the basis of the foundation of your country. And what you find is that if you compare all of the constitutions across the countries that were made independence, given independence, they look a lot the same. And so it was said this is what your constitution will look like. And so they, for instance, said the commissioner of police and deputy commissioner of police have to be independent, because we can't trust your natives not to use the police against each other. And so they put that in the Constitution, in just about every constitution. They said that public servants have to have a place to appeal, and so they put that in the constitutions. So when you look at our constitutions across these countries, they look largely the same, because those were the conditions that the English imposed in granting us independence, because we didn't take it from them like the Haitians took it from the French.
Thank you. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Yes, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Yes, Mr. Monroe.
Yes, sir.
When you were talking about fire engines a while ago, how many fire engines are allocated to Nassau?
Currently, I believe there should be 4 deltas here. There may be 2 or 3 that are down in the police inventory.
Okay. Yeah, because my concern is that dump fire that's been going on for months now, just reignited again last night. Last week, when it was ignited, the minister from, I think it's Juan Miller, he said that there were no injuries, and that's it. That isn't it. Every time that plume lights up, people who have respiratory ailments, it's deadly. The government needs to be responsible, or you are the minister of legal affairs, right?
No, national security.
Within national security. But in the sake of national security, that fire, the person who ever lit the fire, don't you think there should be a penalty to the person who light these fires like that? So that, I mean, like, there should be some deterrent, because these fires just go on and on and on, and it really affects people.
I have heard the proposition that people are thinking that the fires aren't naturally occurring. Certainly on New Providence and Grand Bahama, this administration is being very aggressive on seeking to deploy technology that would give us an advantage on the police, an advantage on catching people who are doing things like that, not just cameras. I think I spoke with a policeman who was talking about instituting aerial patrols by drones that are programmed to do them. And so there'll be other things that have to be put in place so that they can seek to detect and capture for punishments people who may be breaking the law.
Mr. Monroe, another thing, right? Like, hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Who, like, light these fires in their yard, basically almost the same thing. You have these toxins in the air at night. They permeate, I mean, like, good seconds of Nassau, you go around, you keep smelling the smoke. It isn't good for person's respiratory health. I'm telling you, because I am asthmatic, and it's like, it's crazy, man. It ain't no way that the government should allow this smoke to be going on. I mean, this has been going on for like over 2 months now, because there's a dump fire in the back of Carmichael Road or Cowpen Road. That happened like about a month and a half ago, and all the family is still in there. Like that's burning underground. You need to put a stop to this. I mean, it just continues to burn. You need to put water on or whatever you need to just stop that, because a lot of people are going to be sick and die. Because if you ain't know what's going on, you're going to die. And it don't make no sense. Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
we hear you.
We quite agree with you,
Thank
and
you,
we thank you for your comments.
Okay, you're welcome.
You're welcome. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live. Are you there, caller? 323-7775 is the number to call. We have a question from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. They're wondering about the back pay for retirees. It says that these monies were promised years ago, and still nothing.
Years ago by all?
From the PLP.
I can tell.
Ask the Defense Force who promised the money. I mean, I'm talking with the
what it amounts to
from
is
the PLP years ago. So I guess under the Christie administration.
No. What occurred, if they are honest, is that the public service determined that their pensions would be worked out like public service pensions that didn't include allowances. That's not in line with the Defense Act. When I came to the chair, there started to be complaints about it. There was a opinion sought from the Office of the Attorney General who determined that yes, they are correct, and reading the law, they're correct. The persons who would benefit from it the most are the Commodores, who sat and signed off on pensions, not including allowances. And so we took it to Cabinet. Cabinet has approved it. You now have to calculate it. And now it's been calculated, it's been forwarded for payment.
So it has been calculated, okay.
Yes.
All right.
But it's a matter that's been outstanding for about 20 years.
So
and we have finally addressed it after 20 years.
So it's another 20 years to go then?
The persons whose family have died, it will go to their estate.
Okay.
We do things within one term, is what you see happening.
Are you listening? Defense Force retirees? To the minister. You heard him? All right, so next year we'll have the same discussion again, eh? Probably. Welcome to Freedom March, Call You Live.
Hello?
Go ahead, Call You Live.
Hey, spiritual advisor.
Yes, sir.
Spiritual advisor, Holy St. Margaret's, how you doing?
I'm good, sir.
You know, this is only one person I know who calls you St. Margaret's. And Rodney Monk.
Yes, St. Agnes.
Yeah, I know, he's St. Agnes. Mr. Monk, you know, this is Molly here.
Hello, Mr. Molly. How are you?
I'm great. We had a good time the other Monday.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so, but Honorable Minister, you're sitting between two unsaved men, you know.
I can't let you put that on. I can't let you put that on.
Minister, I must commend you on your efforts as a Minister of National Security. There's a lot more transparency, especially when it comes to bringing the police officers before the court, especially in coroner cases with regards to wrongful deaths and police shootings. Because for a very long time, we as Bahamians feel as though the police, I can say it for myself, because my experience with the police one time ago, they operate and they believe that because they are officers of the law, they can operate and nothing can happen to them. But I must commend you on that, sir, bringing them before the courts. And I must also say, I have a little bit of advice for you, too. I know that with the situation in Grand Bahama with fire trucks, I believe it would be more cost-effective if we get trucks out of the U.S. instead of Britain, because the U.S. is right next door, 50 miles away. We can move those we can either move the fire trucks, send them over for repairs, refurbishment, or we can bring the fellas from Paris or La France or anywhere like that and have them come here and repair those fire trucks, because we have a very small fire department in this country. And like the other caller said with regards to the fires, we must get those things sorted out, because it leads to sickness and all that, especially with dump fires burning. But I must commend you, Minister. You're doing a good job.
You sound like a PLP. Thank you, caller.
No, hold on now.
If you know St. Agnes, that's not a fair thing to say. But the Ministry of National Security doesn't deal with the inquest process. And I think if the public looked at it, the police have been charging police officers with homicide themselves, separate and apart from the coroner's process as well. But nobody wants persons who are bad apples, and honest policemen don't like to be in the company of dishonest ones. So that's how I view it. But thank you.
We got some calls waiting. Thank you so much. Welcome to Freedom March, Call You Live.
Good day, Brother Monk, spiritual advisor and the Honorable Minister.
Good day, sir.
This is the County Joe, the Ragged Island County Joe.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. Now, spiritual advisor, I have something to deal with you first. Let me get you a little bit. With the commandment, I can read something to you.
No. Caller, you got to call me after the show, 814-609-96.
It's something quick. It's something quick.
No. You have to call me after the show. Direct the next question to the minister, please.
All right. So this is a random take. Why we don't have a national debate with the PLP leader, the FNM leader, and the COI leader for 2 hours? You get Rodney Munker, yourself, and some other people, and you just ask them questions about the country. You think that's a good idea? I'll hang up.
That's to the minister?
Yeah, that's for the minister.
We don't actually have a presidential system, do we?
That's the thing. That's what the Negro people have to understand.
Yeah. So you should have a debate between the candidates for Cat Island, the candidates for Freetown, the candidates for Marco City.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah, that's the way it should be done. This is not a Republican system of government. You must stop watching the Americans and copying.
You sure you want to tell them that?
Of course.
What's American more than you?
No.
You got an American flag.
I've never asked for debate between the leader of the opposition and the prime minister.
It'll be interesting though if we can have one.
No, in my constituency, the prime minister isn't running and the leader of the opposition isn't running. I want to hear from the candidate in my constituency. Okay? Don't forget now, the last time the FNM maneuvered that, Perry Christie almost half killed Tommy Tainquest. I know stupid FNM. Y'all think I stupid, eh?
Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
I haven't that. They're going to set up Tommy Tainquest, say, go debate. And they know that Perry Christie is a wonderful debater, and Perry Christie just mashed him to pieces. And we lost the election.
Welcome to Freedom March. You're good. You have the electric
Good
off the chain.
afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead, call you live.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yes,
good afternoon, comrade.
I would just like to announce my leadership. My mommy is one of the Conky Joe Dem, and her birthday is tomorrow.
Well, we must wish her a happy birthday. Go ahead.
Pardon me?
What's
Your
her
mother,
name?
her birthday is tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And she's a Conky Joe.
Yes, sir.
I love the Conky Joe people. Wish her a happy birthday.
Pardon me, sir?
Wish her a happy birthday.
Yes, sir. And she's also one of the women's them.
She accept my leadership?
Yes, she accepts your leadership.
Lord, I thank you that around the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, even the Conky Joe women them accept my leadership.
Yes.
You tell your mother I wanted to vote PLP. What area she live in?
Pardon me?
What constituency your mom lives in?
South Beach.
She's a wonderful Conky Joe woman, and I wanted to know that her candidate is Bacchus Roll, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Happy birthday to your mom.
Thank you very much.
This is powerful.
It's very powerful.
Yes, it is. I want you all to see the Conky Joe people support me.
That make you feel very good, eh?
We got another call. Welcome to Freedom March, call you live. Go ahead, call you live, caller. Hello? You're live, caller. Go ahead.
Yes, spiritual advisor.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon to you and the minister and Brother Munka there.
Yes, sir.
I can switch the talk a little bit. I want to talk a little politics. I got to let the minister know he had to watch out for that white man from St. Anne's. He's sneaking in Freetown. You got to watch him. But be prepared for 2026. All I want you to do is politically put some licks on him in 2026. He try come around in that area, moving. He can be the sacrifice lamb for Dr. Dwayne Sands.
Which white man is that?
From Adrian White.
Oh, no, Adrian White isn't coming in that area.
Yes, he is. They're going to put Dwayne Sands in St. Anne's. They're using him as a sacrifice.
Let me tell you this.
He's going to be a sacrifice.
Let me tell you this. I know Adrian White. Adrian White.
He coming in there.
He worked with me for some time. When Adrian showed up, Adrian told us Brent Simonet ain't going anywhere. Brent Simonet there with him. I know Adrian good enough to know that Adrian is a powerful young man, and there's no way he can give up a sweet F&M seat to come and do battle.
Thank you, caller. We at the end of the show, producer?
No, we got a couple more minutes. Go ahead.
Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Yes. Good afternoon, Special Advisor, Mr. Monica.
Hello.
Mr. Monroe.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Monroe.
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to clarify something for me, but the fence was thing like we were saying, like when you have when someone died, right? And what did the spouses or someone entitled to? My husband passed away on 2017, and I would like to know if you could explain that more for me to understand, because he was a senior man, Force Chief Petty Officer.
He was still in the service? What happens is if you fill out a beneficiary form that says if I die, I want my benefits to go to this person. That came recently in the Defense Force. Apart from that, your administrator would get it. So if you die, any gratuity you are owed the payment that the government pays if you die in the service to account for your pension. That is what would go to the beneficiary now if you name them, or your personal representative.
Well, Minister, I want to thank you. You have to come back because I got a couple of more questions for you. My spiritual advisor, I want you to be safe.
The minister's busy, man. This man,
and
he
when he
doesn't work
called
to do.
me, he trying to scoop out of people.
Yeah. Listen, everybody, I want you to be safe.
Have a good week.
All right? Have no fear. Law and order is here. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save the minister.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Munker, his guests, and callers on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March